Athens. It's one of the most famous cities in the world. But for many travelers, it's just a one-day stop on their way to the Greek islands. But should you stay longer? We recently got to spend 3 relaxing days in Athens, enjoying the history, food, and a quick day trip. Follow along and we'll share the details of our trip to this cosmopolitan city and find out, does Athens deserve more time on your Greece itinerary? We start things off by checking into our hotel and heading straight for some gyros with Greek salad. Casual food, but it really hit the spot after a day of traveling. After that meal, it's time for a quick walk through our neighborhood. Just southwest of Plaka, which is the neighborhood which we will be visiting later on and covering as well. The cool thing about Athens is that you can step out for a quick walk and casually stumble upon tons of cool ancient history. Beside a busy road, we see here the ruins of the Arch of Hadrian, dating to the Roman period. And the National Garden, which we'll visit later, is a nice spot to get some rare greenery in a hot city. It's full of ruins from various periods. The Zapion Hall, pictured here, was built in the 1880s, but there's also Roman and ancient Greek ruins in the park. Next up, we have a scheduled ticket for the one classic must-visit of Athens, the Acropolis, of course. We opted for the last slot of the day to hopefully get out of some of the heat and potentially dodge some of the cruise ship crowds who will leave early in the evening. Enjoy some of these views as we walk up the steep hill towards the Parthenon. The Acropolis was, of course, the heart of ancient Athens. To clarify, the Acropolis is the hill that we're walking on. Most ancient Greek cities had an Acropolis in the center of town, which housed various temples. The Parthenon is the biggest temple on top, which is dedicated to the goddess Athena. One thing that always amazes me is just how old ancient Greek monuments are. The Parthenon, for example, was built 1,000 years before Notre Dame in Paris. One tough part about being here in the summer is that Athens gets really hot. This wouldn't really be a problem on the islands, but Athens doesn't have an ocean breeze or a beach to cool off at. Particularly at the Acropolis, there isn't much shade, so you'll want to bring tons of water and maybe even an umbrella. A walking tour also isn't a bad idea to explain the significance of all the various ruins that you will see. As we climb down the Acropolis hill, we head towards the Monastiraki neighborhood and our dinner spot. Monastiraki is a bustling neighborhood which really feels like a big city again. Amongst the chaos and noise, you'll see a couple of Greek ruins as well as some Byzantine churches. This next spot was possibly my favorite meal in Athens. and it also opened my eyes to more traditional Greek food that I didn't really know about beforehand. This was a deli-style restaurant with some traditional food, a lot of tomato sauces, sardines, skewered meat, tons of olives, and all types of different dishes. Great for sharing. For dessert, traditional Greek yogurt with candied carrots. It sounds a bit weird, but you'll have to try it to just understand how good it is. Good morning, day 2, and we're on a bus bright and early, heading on a day trip to Nafplio, a small seaside town that was once Greece's capital city. But first, we'll stop here at the ancient theater of Epidaurus and the ruined city around it. It's one of the largest and most well-preserved ancient Greek theaters and is over 2,300 years old. It's awesome that you can still climb the steps, test the acoustics, play around with your friends, and plays are even held here to this day. There's a small exhibit attached with some artifacts from the site as well. However, the city itself is mostly in ruins, and I probably wouldn't recommend this site as anything more than a stopover on your way to Nafplio, unless you're really into history. A little drive later, and we've now arrived at Nafplio. Kind of. We're actually overlooking the town from the fortress of Palamidi. This is a fortress built by the Venetians in the 1600s. Yes, Venice once occupied this part of Greece, along with a lot of the countries in the region. The fortress has some spectacular views of the sea, the town below, and the mountains in the background. This fortress was built after gunpowder came to Europe, and you'll notice the thick walls are designed to withstand cannons, although this fortress was captured by both the Turkish and then Greek troops throughout its history. There's not too many big attractions in the relaxing small town of Nafplio, so this is one of the must-sees, if only for the views alone. Seafood dinner on the Nafplio Strip was tasty, but definitely overpriced, typical of a small tourist town which doesn't have a ton of restaurants. Anyways, here's some sights from our street walk through Nafplio. It's a cute little town and is a really relaxing spot to visit, especially after the busyness of Athens. Honestly, there's not too much to do here, but it's probably worth it if you want to take a relaxing break. There's also a quite beautiful beach on the other side of town. I could definitely see myself coming here for a relaxing beach holiday for a couple of days to unwind and relax after a bit of busyness in Athens. Now, for day 3, we have some pretty good food and museum plans, but first, we'll start things off in a different part of the city to watch the changing of the guard ceremony at the tomb of the unknown soldier, which is outside the presidential manor. Like the changing of the guards in other cities, it's a meaningful and historic ceremony, which we were lucky to be able to view. I will say it's also a popular tourist trap with a large crowd forming in advance of the ceremony. In the immediate area, there are also some cool university and government buildings, but we couldn't stay long because we have some tickets to the Acropolis Museum. Everything in this museum was unearthed from the Acropolis, so as a result, we're missing out on a lot of non-Athenian history, like Sparta, Macedonia, etc., but it's very specific to this area. Honestly, we wanted a shorter museum visit, and this was a great way to get a quick dose of history in an awesome setting. Athens was also a surprisingly good shopping destination. The Plaka neighborhood was full of chain stores, souvenir stores, and some cool local shops. I picked up an antique Greek art print and some souvenirs for friends, but I was definitely tempted to get more. It's also bustling all night long with people going to eat and shop, and it has a great atmosphere when the sun goes down and the temperature gets a little bit more comfortable. To celebrate a birthday in our group, we treated ourselves to some fine dining at CTC Gastronomy. An unforgettable end to our trip. Here are some of the dishes. So, is Athens a world-class city worth your time, or is it just a stop on the way to the islands? I think it's somewhere in the middle. It's not my favorite city in the region, and I probably wouldn't stay for more than a week, but after 3 days, we still have several places we wished we could have gone to. Beyond history, the nightlife, food, and shopping makes Athens a great destination, and we loved every minute of it. Thanks for watching, and subscribe for more travel videos.